Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Chhoda and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. Thank you so much for being a viewer. Thank you so much for being a subscriber and welcome to the Ignition Time channel where you can get real, honest news that you can depend on. Now, I've decided to take a look at different news outlets before preparing this video, this report for you. Let's start with a conservative news outlet. Let's start with Fox News. And as I go through these outlets, you'll start to see that the validity of the election is essentially staying intact despite challenges, despite legal challenges from the president. In fact, there are some things that the Trump campaign is doing which will be interesting. Let's just put it that way. Let's start with what's on Fox News right now, and you'll see this headline on your screen: live updates, Biden's lead grows in Pennsylvania. President-elect Joe Biden. By the way, President-elect Joe Biden is a phrase that's being used by Fox News. Okay, President-elect Joe Biden is now leading President Trump by more than 50,000 votes in Pennsylvania. Trump is currently contesting the results of the election in a state days before Biden was declared the winner, and Biden's lead has grown by 50,401 votes, which is ahead of a 0.75% margin, which is just over the 0.5% margin needed for a losing candidate to request a recount. So that's on Fox. Now, here's another interesting headline also on Fox, and you'll see that on your screen right now. An Arizona judge denies President Trump's request to seal evidence in a vote counting lawsuit. So it's interesting that the president's team would want to actually seal evidence when they're talking about widespread fraud. I mean, if you're talking about widespread fraud and you have the evidence, let the whole world see it. Why would you even want to seal evidence? So an Arizona Superior Court judge has denied a request by President Trump's election team to seal evidence in a lawsuit that alleges that poll workers in Maricopa County, I quote, incorrectly rejected election day votes. So Judge Daniel Kiley did not comment on the evidence that was presented, but he denied the motion after determining that the sensitive information in the documents could be redacted prior to an upcoming hearing. So he determined that sealing was not required. Quite interesting there. By the way, the Wall Street Journal, which also tends to lean conservative. In fact, on your screen, see today's headlines on the Wall Street Journal homepage. And as you see it and as we scroll down, you'll understand that the Wall Street Journal isn't even talking about the election irregularities. They're not talking about the president's legal challenges and legal quests to challenge the validity of the election. They seem to be like, all right, let's move on to other stories. I mean, look at it. It's on your screen right now. This is the Wall Street Journal, a conservative-leaning newspaper, which President Trump had essentially relied on prior to the election to break a big bombshell story about President-elect Joe Biden, which, by the way, never happened because the Wall Street Journal felt that they didn't have the reporting to substantiate what President Trump considered a bombshell. I'm paraphrasing. So that is what's going on right now. Also, on your screen, you'll see a tweet from Reed Wilson, and Reed is a correspondent for The Hill. And this is pretty interesting. President-elect Joe Biden won just 477 out of a total of 3,141 counties in across the country. But check this out. Those counties account for an incredible 70% of the nation's GDP. I did do a video yesterday where I talked about the massive economic disparity between those who voted for President Trump and those who voted for President-elect Biden. And it's incredible. You definitely want to check out that video because our divide is deeper than just the red or the blue. Our divide is actually a deeper economic divide because this is a K-shaped recovery. There are individuals who are called routine workers. That's an actual phrase used by the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. Those workers, their jobs are more at risk for automation. Those workers voted more for President Trump. So that was very interesting. You definitely want to check out that video. It'll give you a sense of where we are as a country right now. So by contrast, Clinton won counties that added up to 64% of the GDP, and Gore, won counties that added up to 54% of the GDP. So there is a disproportionately larger section of the country which contributes to higher GDP, which is effectively voting more and more for Biden. I mean, those are actual numbers. That's actual numbers and actual math. And then you can also check out that tweet, and you can also read that entire article in The Hill for yourself. Here's another tweet on your screen, also from Reed Wilson from The Hill. President Trump's legal team has challenged a total of 180 rejected ballots in Maricopa County in Arizona. Biden leads President Trump in Arizona by 14,746 votes. So I just want to be clear, and forgive me for being a little tongue-in-cheek here. 14,746 is more then 180. So, that was my attempt to be funny. But guys, I understand emotions are strong here, but guys, let's look at the math here. Let's be objective. Let's look at the math and let's try and understand that, when it comes to recounts, tens of thousands of votes have never been overturned in a recount. Even in Bush v. Gore in the year 2000, it came down to a small number of votes in one state. Here, we're talking about tens of thousands of votes in multiple states. So, I understand how everybody feels. But guys, look at the math. Look at the math. Look at the math and ask yourself, can tens of thousands of votes be overturned? If you believe yes, then, that's fine. I'm not trying to change your mind. I'm looking at the math here. So here's another tweet on your screen also from Reed Wilson. The ex-Utah governor, Mike Leavitt, who headed the 2012 transition team for Mitt Romney, who didn't win, obviously, he urged President Trump to begin the transition process. And he said that that it's important to initiate the transfer of power to Joe Biden because I want to be clear, I do believe that this has national security implications as well. And by the way, Reed's pretty busy today. Here's another tweet on your screen also from Reed Wilson. I will definitely provide you with a link to all the tweets in the description section below. And you can read all the articles that Reed was quoting and also probably, follow him on Twitter. Reed wrote, Wisconsin Republicans are scrambling to find issues they can raise in the recount Trump has promised to pursue. A recount 4 years ago resulted in a net change of just 131 votes, nowhere near the number that the president would need to change the results this time in the state of Wisconsin. Keep in mind, President Trump would have to flip 3 states, which, where the lead by Biden is in some cases more than tens of thousands. So, it's interesting what's going on. Here's a headline on your screen from the New York Times. And the New York Times actually called officials in every state and they found no evidence of voter fraud. The president and his allies have claimed that rampant voter fraud stole victory from him. Officials contacted by the Times in every state said that there were no irregularities that affected the outcome. Could there be, some votes that shouldn't be counted? Of course, but they could go Biden's way. I mean, it may end up happening that if you recount these votes, Biden may get a few more votes. But let's say President Trump gets a few more votes. Is he going to get tens of thousands of votes? Is there widespread voter fraud? And if so, where's the evidence? So, that is something to consider. Also, let's take a look at a headline here on Bloomberg. Trump-backed Michigan vote suit slammed as dangerous by lawyer. Detroit urges judge to toss the suit over election certification, and the state claims echo a new federal suit filed by President Trump. And a lawyer for Detroit, he slammed a Michigan state court lawsuit alleging widespread voter fraud in the city as an absurdity after President Trump's campaign filed a separate federal suit making roughly the same claims. And what's happening here is this is David Fink. He's a lawyer for Detroit, Michigan's largest city. And this is what he argued. He said they're looking wherever they can to get validation for the unsupported conspiracy theories that they have. This was reported by Bloomberg, and you'll get the link to this article, to this Bloomberg article below. Here's a headline on your screen from the Associated Press. Now, before I go any further, I want to point out that the president's daughter, Ivanka Trump, did indeed reference the Associated Press when she was talking about President Trump's victory of 3 electoral college votes in Alaska, which, by the way, wasn't a surprise because since the beginning, Alaska has been Republican. Alaska only went once for Democrats. That was in the 1960s. So Republicans winning Alaska is to be expected, number one. Number two, Ivanka Trump and, the campaign, when it suited them, quoted the Associated Press and said, hey, look, but now they're not quoting the Associated Press, which has essentially called the election for President-elect Joe Biden. And the Associated Press headline on your screen, you'll see the Associated Press headline on your screen. Explainer: Trump's challenges fail to prove election fraud. Here's another headline on your screen, also from the Associated Press. AP explains elections validity intact despite President Trump's claims. The U.S. presidential election was not tainted by widespread voter fraud or irregularities in how ballots were counted, despite a huge effort by President Trump to prove otherwise. And the Associated Press provided a state-by-state explanation as to why this was incorrect. Now, I'm covering this because this has huge implications for the economy, because I believe that if the next team has the capability, has a team in place, has the intelligence information to be able to organize themselves, they'll be able to hit the ground running. It makes the next president's job much harder when we get involved in this internal conflict. I'll tell you who benefits from these internal conflicts and who doesn't in the next video. But I just wanted to give my viewers and subscribers the information in this video that helps you understand where things stand right now. Not just from the New York Times, not just from the Associated Press, but also from Fox News and from conservative leaning outlets like the Wall Street Journal. You can either choose to look at the math, or you can, choose to have a different point of view. I'm not criticizing you. I'm presenting you with the math as is my prerogative on this channel. So that's where we stand, everybody. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. Definitely click like, click subscribe, enable notifications. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. I want you to know that you are appreciated. If you don't know anything about me, please check out my video. You'll learn more about who I am, what my journey has been like, and why you should listen to me. If you learn something new from this video, please consider gently clicking the like button. Please ignite that subscribe button. Please ignite that notification button, but don't do it so hard that you smash the screen. Uh-oh, I don't want you to smash the screen. Just having a little bit of fun there, me and my team. So please click like, please subscribe, please enable notifications. Again, if you don't know anything about me, definitely check out my video. You'll learn more about who I am, what my journey has been like, and why you should listen to me. I would really appreciate that. You can get your cell phone out, send a text message with the word ignition or with the word time to 70,000, that's 70000, and you'll get added to SMS alerts list. You can also, if you want, get on our email list. Simply go to ignitiontime.com/alerts. That's ignitiontime.com/alerts. You'll magically, you'll get emails from us in your inbox. You can opt out of the emails or the SMSs at any point in time that you want. I do have a crystal ball and I can predict the future. No, I can't. If I had a crystal ball and I could predict the future, I would. But, what I can do is give you honest, real, true news that you can depend on, news that you can rely on. So please, by all means, subscribe to our channel. You can also follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram handle is ignition_time. That's ignition_time. You can also follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is also ignition_time. That's ignition_time. All I ask is that you comment below, participate in our growing community. I'm very proud of our community. We are all proud Americans. I want to be clear, on our channel, it's not about the red or the blue. It's about the red, white, and blue. It's not about being Democrat, being Republican. It's about being American. We are all Americans first. So I want us to try and come together as best as we can with actual news, actual objective information, which is what you're going to get on this channel. Please comment below, participate in our growing community. Please share this video with friends and family so we can grow our community. And again, as a reminder, you'll find the links to all our resources in the description section below. So if you're ever wondering what our resources are, just check out the description section of any video that we put out, and you'll see the links to all our resources so you can check out those resources on your own. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.